got one today. I turn on the water, but there must be a leak, and I don't know where it is. So this customer here turns on the water here in the spring. They try to run the zones. They notice that the zones have very little pressure. So there must be a leak somewhere. The customer left the water running, hopefully to find the leak, but then they couldn't find it. So here I am today, going to try to figure something else out here. There, so we turned on the water and we're just going to hopefully see if we can find any water in the ground anywhere. What we're going to try today, we're going to introduce some air into the system. Here's a tip. If you want to know if water's moving, if you close the valve halfway, it'll create a noise and then you can tell if water's flowing. So with the water on and air to the compressor, under 90 psi should be fine. Now we'll turn on the air, turn on the tap. So what we're essentially doing is we're introducing air into the main line. What that will do is the leak will now be audible. It should create better conditions for finding a leak. So this is what it looks like when you have air and water at the same time. It kind of looks like you're winterizing it, but the water's just going to keep coming. I know this valve box is right here. Look at that, this one's making noise. Okay. Not that one. It's not that one either. This one seems to be it because it's making noise. And when I turn it on, there's no change to anything. Okay, well, we found one problem. Let's see if there's anything else. That's too small of a leak to cause zones not turning on. It's safe to say that looks like that wants to blow. We'll probably need to replace this guy. What is this? Looks like we got another one. No. All right, I won't jump to conclusions, but I think we found the problem. Let's wait for that zone to turn off. I can see it from here. All right, it just turned off. So I think what happened is one valve in there was on. Anyhow, that's no big deal. That was easy. We turned the solenoid and the zone turned off. That's what we wanted. Having two zones on at once will definitely cause a lot of pressure drop. So it could mimic a leak or something like that. Irrigation systems are generally designed to consider water pressure and things like that when they design them. We'll turn off the air supply. We'll turn off the water. And we'll go get some tools. We're gonna have to check out what's going on with that valve over there. So I've taken the valve out. One thing I make sure that's in there is this little centerpiece. You can see it just gets pushed in. If that's not seated right, it can cause issues. That looks fine. This is pretty straightforward, not much wrong with that. Same with this one. These are pretty sturdy pieces. Looks like he has sediment in his water. That shouldn't cause too much of an issue. But what I think may have happened is you see some black right here. I can feel it with my fingernail. So it's not creating a good seal here, which can cause the valve just to stay open. And we're going to replace it with some parts and see how it acts after that. This is a little bit like open heart surgery, so try not to get anything else in there that you don't want. Blades of grass. This guy is asking for it right here. Generally, the bodies of the valves are fine. The strongest part of the valve is the lower body. So what we're going to do is carefully replace all the parts. Make sure they're clean. Don't drop them in the mud like I did. Replace it in the same order you took it out. Try to do these separate like this. And that way you can kind of catch the spring right on this groove nicely. Before it gets tightened, put the bleed screw here again. And you can sort of feel it start to snug up. Pretty tight, but not too tight. You're not tightening down wheels on your car here. And these are made of plastic, so I like to make sure it's snug down. And then right here on this side, you see that nub? Make sure to place this key in a way where you can unscrew this and this stopper will stop it from over tightening. I'm going to reuse the same solenoid. I don't think the solenoid has an issue. Here's our old valve all exploded. So I took out all these parts and replaced them here. Now we'll go test it. Alright, we're back with the wireless controller. This is no longer making a sound. So now we can commence with our startup. Testing the solenoid. Yeah, the old one still works, so we don't have to replace it. Now what I always tell everyone is that a zone turning on is half the battle. A zone turning off is equally as important. Aha, success. Alright, we're here fixing this. You can see here it's pretty chewed up. The interesting thing about it is right here along the rim, it does say non-constant pressure, cold water, outdoor irrigation only. Non-constant pressure is the key. So this is a main line. So they had this original fitting on a main line and it began to leak. Interesting thing on this one, there's no lettering on this one telling you not to do that. So I think what ended up happening, they realized their fittings are no good for constant pressure, so then they added a little warning label on there to not do that. So what we're going to end up doing is just putting on an insert fitting right over top of that. A couple of clamps right here. We'll end up cutting off this ugly piece, slide on some clamps, take this opportunity to show you a tip. Have the two gears facing away from each other like this. Because if you have both the gears on the same side, it'll actually create a spot where water can get by. But by crisscrossing them like this, you'll save yourself a headache. Fresh bit of T-tape. So that's it, we're all done for the day. Thanks for joining, we'll see you on another video.